I don't know if the lens is fogged up or not. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're doing this as 2020 live. Mom, I'd already explained to the other siblings what had happened to the tape about the situation. But anyway, we want to go back. I want you to tell me a little bit. I got my eye closed there. See my eye?
Yeah.
It's closed. All right. I want you to tell us a little bit about where you start back when you was a girl and just come right on up to meeting Daddy and about Tofield or whatever his name was, Bato, or whatever. So we're going to turn it over to Mom now, and if the camera moves, siblings, I'm holding it and shooting it. All right, go ahead.
Well, we was living at High Point, Louisiana, and that's where I was. Well, I don't know where I was born really. Must have been around my move somewhere. And,
you don't know where you were born?
No, I don't. Didn't quite remember. But anyway, we was living at High Point, and so somehow or another, Daddy got connected with somebody that was working up here, Fred Clark, and this and that, and so they wanted to move us, say, come on and go to work there. So Daddy did.
A little louder, please.
Daddy did. He went to work for Ed Clark, and then he decided that he'd better move because he liked the job and he liked things going,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we moved up there, and Buck is the one that come and moved us, and that's the first time I seen him, and that was in, I guess, somewhere in about around 40, 41 or something. No, yeah, about 41 or the latter part of 40. So he come and moved us, and we put all our junk on his truck, and away we headed for Forest Hill. Well, it's out from Forest Hill where Ed's mill was, and we moved in one of them little houses.
A little louder, please.
So we moved in one of them houses, and so then, of course, we started courting. I think your daddy must have liked the way I looked, and I liked the way he looked, and so first thing you know, we was courting. Then we just kept on courting. I went to school up there in Forest Hill for about a year, and I was in 8th grade, and you can keep on coming closer.
No, I'm just changing position.
And I was in 8th grade, and we, after I got out of school there, and so we married, and that was in 42, June the 6th, 1942. And then we lived with the Clarks, Ed and Cora, down at the lake, and then we built a little house and right across the road, and lived about a little 3-room house, and your daddy would drive. He was driving that truck, hauling logs and hauling lumber and what have you. So I could hear him way down the road. I'd wait for him late that afternoon when I knew it was about time for him to come in. I'd have supper cooked on my little wood stove, and
Yeah,
so,
you actually, excuse me, let me interrupt you on 2020 probe. You had a wood stove?
Yeah, I had a wood stove.
I can't picture you cooking on one.
And so then I was sitting there, and I thought I was pregnant. I really didn't exactly know it because I was so young at that time. So, I mean, if things didn't go just right, well, I figured they were all right, but nevertheless, and I felt life for you. You're my oldest. Ed is the oldest. So I was sitting there in this door of this little shack that we lived in. And them old hogs was out there rooting in that water, dishwater. And I felt life, and so that was the first time I felt life for you out there watching them hogs. And
Was Mom proud?
oh yeah.
Aunt Corey.
Oh yeah, she was proud.
A little louder, please.
She thought of Buck as their child. They raised him from the time he was 6 years old. And so, oh yeah. And Ed Clark, he asked us. He's the first one to even mention about naming the baby if it was a boy, and so we agreed. and he named you, so Ed Lewis. So, so ask me a few questions now, and maybe I can answer them.
Okay, Miss Johnson, isn't it wonderful?
It sure is.
Thinking about, we won't bring up the kidnapping of young WL until later in the tape, but the second sibling was the great Bobo Beezer, and we're so thankful that Jim's doing well today.
That's right, Jimmy Nelson. And his uncle named him, my brother, Nelson. Because he had a friend named Jimmy, and he just put both names together, and he named Jimmy.
I didn't know that. I knew Uncle Nelson named him, but I didn't know.
Yeah, he had a Jimmy, I think his name was Jimmy Perkins. Anyway, he's a real good, close friend that he is.
And I was born in Oakdale?
Yeah.
And where was Jim born?
Oakdale. Hargrove's Clinic.
Hargrove Clinic. We'll skip the kidnapper for just a minute. But Wanda Helane, where was she born?
She was born in LeCount.
LeCount? Was it a hospital or midwife?
It was a hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah.
What? And Shirley Helane?
She was born there too. Shirley Helane.
Who named her?
Shirley?
Yeah, who named Shirley Helane?
Nobody named her Shirley Helane. You named her Shirley.
I did? I bet she, yeah, I knew I did. I bet she don't know that.
And I just put the N on the end.
Yeah, I remember you. What about Wanda? Who named her? Daddy?
Well, I believe he kind of liked somebody that was named Wanda.
Who, Daddy?
The lady, yeah.
Was this an extramarital affair, you think, or not?
Do what?
Do you think Dad had an extramarital affair?
No, I don't believe it.
He just liked her.
I think it was a lady that lived there by us. And we had a house over there at McNair next to us. We rented that house.
It wouldn't have been Wanda Savage, but no means.
No, it wasn't a Savage.
Okay.
I don't even.
It wasn't.
They didn't stay there long enough to find out, but she was a nice lady. And
it wasn't Earl's wife. What was her name?
Louise.
Louise Marshall?
No, Louise.
Louise named Wanda, didn't she?
No.
How old was Wanda yesterday? Day before yesterday?
49.
47. 47.
I can't never get that straight.
And well, now Mark, her husband, he's much older, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like he gets around kind of slow to me.
Yeah, he's
Mark
kind of slow.
And Shirley married that old Logue boy.
Yeah.
Where's he at, Logue?
He's in Baton Rouge, I think.
Do you think he's a pretty good son-in-law?
Yeah, he's okay.
Well,
I got two good son-in-laws.
If I cut this off, would you have anything different to say about it?
I don't think.
No. And then we'll save the one WL. Where was he born?
He was born in Oakdale, Louisiana.
Oakdale, Louisiana. And he was born in a veil?
Yeah, Dr. Mays was supposed to have delivered him, but he didn't. Mama and this nurse is the one that was there at the delivery. He went home to eat, and I told Mom, I said, I hope he chokes on that chicken bone.
So Grandma Oline was there, and the nurse.
Yeah, and he had a veil concern thing over his, all over his body. I don't, but it's not too, it's kind of seldom that people or children are born like that. But he had his right hand swearing up.
Well, that may have been.
And it was kind of hard delivery there.
Did I'm sure, did Rosie Fincher have anything to do with the birth, delivery?
No. No, Rosie Fincher.
Then, Ms. Johnson, sometimes on our program we do a lot of investigative work, but there was reports circulating around Nig Meisel's area that WL was kidnapped by Rosie Fincher when he was 4 years old.
I don't remember that.
Was he kidnapped?
No, he was not.
For ransom? Did y'all put out a reward?
Oh, because he wasn't kidnapped.
In other words, seriously now, this is very serious. Did they kidnap the boy?
No. They didn't kidnap the boy.
They ain't kidnapped him. But someone told me that all y'all could come up with was a $50 reward.
And probably right. If it would have been a
and that Rosie wouldn't return him for $50. She wanted $50 and a pair of shoes.
Well, we might could have bummed a pair of shoes and the $50.
But is that where he got his short haircuts, Rosie? She was the one that put that in the...
Yeah, she was the one that started his hair going straight up.
But he had lice, didn't he?
No, he didn't have lice.
Well, I thought y'all put black oil on his head.
No, not
and
hardly.
sulfur.
Not hardly.
But a lot of times on this program we have to ask very personal type questions because we know that the truth is always there. It's finding it that's the problem.
Yeah.
But so speaking of Grandma Olene's side of the family, there was a person named Bato. Tell us about Uncle Bato right quick.
He wasn't your uncle.
He wasn't kin to us?
No, he was just a neighbor friend, like he didn't know. That was about the first. Let's see. I don't know how it was, but I mean he wasn't kin to Mama. And he was born with he's crippled, you know.
Yeah.
He was born that way. He'd walk on the side of his foot, his feet, you know.
Yeah.
And his hands were crippled. And then we used to pick at him, pick at my aunt about him, you know, just tease her. Ain't Zozo?
Yeah, Zozo, a little louder, please. We have
Zozo.
Zozo.
That was Mama's sister.
What does that mean in English, Zozo?
I don't have no idea. Sounded to me like a bird.
That was Grandma's sister? And Grandma's people was from Ireland or where?
Canada.
Canada.
Red-headed priest.
And Grandpa's people basically was from where?
Around about Bill Platt, Mamu, and up in that area.
Different places like that. Well, Mom, you'll be looking at it. We know you lost Aunt Odile, the family did, this year. And what was it? Grandpa's been gone, what, 2 years?
No, he died in 95. 4 years.
It don't seem like that,
No.
does it? But
and Odile passed away October the 5th of this year, 1998.
But I know she's been gone a little over 2 months, and I know that's been hard on you.
Sure has.
But no, this is just something we